Welcome back to Cross Rifle Outdoors. Today we're going to go over picking your hunting knife. And there's a lot of things that need to be factored in when you're picking your hunting knife. The weight could be a factor. If you're getting older, younger kid that you're just getting into hunting, letting them carry a knife. If you're backcountry hunting and you're hunting out of a backpack, the size of the knife, sometimes you don't want a machete hanging from your leg, and honestly I don't know why you'd have a machete when you're out hunting, at least not in the United States. And another thing to consider is, what are you going to use it for? Is it just field dressing? Are you deboning? What exactly are you doing? So here we have a variety, and I'm going to leave this little set for a second, and we'll talk about it here in a minute. But we're going to start with one that's not going to be on most people's hunting knife lists. This is the SE3 handle modification. Now, I've had this knife for a year. It's 1095, a very high carbon steel, high quality. I love 1095. It holds its edge. It's just amazing. It will rust. So, after you're processing your game, gutting it, skinning, whatever you're using a knife for, you need to wash it, hand dry it, and then let it air dry. You don't want to let it sit on there because it will rust your blade. Now, the thing I love about this knife, on top of the edge retention, is the blade length. I don't like big, long knives. Now, a lot of people will, skin up the breastbone, and then they'll cut up the breastbone, and then they only have to get their hands in just to their wrists. I don't like doing that. It lets more crap inside of the chest cavity. It's personal preference. When we're talking about those two different types of gutting, there's not really a right or wrong way. That's my preference. So I can choke up on the knife. I've got a short edge, so when I'm cutting around the diaphragm, I have easy control of the knife. It's not too long to where I'm poking into the guts and really just making a mess and potentially ruining my meat. And when I get up to cut the trachea, elbow deep in the chest cavity, it's great. My fingers have gotten in the way and I've nicked myself with a knife a couple of times doing that, but I still have all 10 fingers, so we're good to go. If you don't think this is a good hunting knife, you really should rethink it or get one and give it a try. I have a full review on this knife. You should definitely check out. It's a great knife. Another knife to consider, now this is a Cricut, Columbia River Knife and Tool Company, with a gut hook. And this is the only gut hook fixed blade knife that I have, so it's a good one for this review. This particular model has been discontinued. The downside to this gut hook is now it's dull. You can see I'm pushing pretty hard and rubbing my finger on it, so you don't penetrate into the stomach when you're using your gut hook. The first time I used this knife, that's exactly what I did. I was being careful, and I still just stripped the stomach. So, was it me? Maybe. Was it the knife? Maybe. It's hard to tell, but it is something that needs to be factored, and we'll cover it when we get into this little tool here. This is this knife's stainless steel. It's a good steel. It holds its edge. It's still a really nice knife. Man, the sky's the limit when you start talking hunting knives. But this was a mid-range. I think I paid $50, $60 for it. And it's been a good knife over the years. I believe I've had this 5 or 6 years. Our next knife on the list, and it came right up. He knew he was next and he wanted to be on camera, is our Outdoor Edge Razor Light 3.5 inch. Now, I love this knife. Love is an understatement. Before I learned how to sharpen a knife, this was the go-to knife. And I have a full review on this knife, and I'll have to throw it in the description down below. If you suck at sharpening a knife, or if you're on the side of the mountain and you're doing some quartering and packing, and you don't have the time to sit there and quarter or resharpen your knife to continue your quartering, this is the way to go. Within a matter of seconds, you just push this button, pull it out, and you're in business. It comes with a little sheath that goes on your hip. It has a slot in that sheath for replacement blades. You'll really never notice that the knife is there. It weighs nothing. I highly recommend this knife for backpack hunters, the backcountry guys hunting off of horses. This knife never leaves my side when I'm hunting. It is my go-to. And I've had this knife probably about 8 years now, 7 or 8 years. And oh man, it's done half a dozen deer for me. Last year with the gentleman that I was hunting with, all 4 of us harvested an elk. It helped gut one of theirs, helped skin all 3 of theirs, and then it field dressed and quartered my elk on the side of the mountain with the addition of a bone saw to get through the stuff. You really need a good bone saw if you think you're going to have to pack and quarter, and it's not a bad idea to have one even if there's a chance that you won't need to pack and quarter. So let's get into this set. This is a set from Gerber, and my dad bought this probably when I was in junior high or the first part of high school. This knife set is old. They don't make it. You can't find anything on the internet about it. But this is a good representation of a lot of the sets that are out there. When my dad quit big game hunting, I bought this off of him for, oh man, it must have been just 20 bucks. He didn't need it. He hadn't used it in years, but it was great. Now, this kit stays in my hunting pack because there's times where I don't know if I'm going to pack and quarter or if I'm going to be hunting in somebody's field that day. It's really hard to tell. The kit comes with a nice folding bone saw, and it does a reasonably good job. It came in this nice little sheath, and it also came with a wood saw. And the kit's been really great over the years. Came with this folding knife. Funny story about this knife set. We're gonna put the review on hold for just a second because this is a pretty good story. When my dad bought this knife and brought it home, it was in one of those stupid cellophane packages where you need the knife inside the package to open the damn package. Well, as a young kid, I'm watching him do this, and when he just cut open the top and he put his hand down in there, and I was thinking to myself, that's probably not the best idea, but my dad knows. Everybody knows that their dad knows everything, and they're their heroes. They can do no wrong. Well, I want to say it was probably 6 or 7 stitches on his thumb later. That self-correcting injury of his made me realize, man, I should probably never do that. So, back to talking about these knives. It's got a nice folding knife. I like how small, compact, and light this kit is. And, you know, this knife isn't super high quality steel. It holds an edge all right, but in my experience, Gerber knives, they use okay steel. You know, I'm still a 1095 guy. It is my go-to steel. If I'm picking a knife that's steel, 1095. It's affordable, it's great, I love it. It also comes with this little gut hook, and I love that right here is plastic. So like we were talking about with this gut hook, man, it's impossible to penetrate that stomach and go. And this is just a regular razor blade that you'd buy for your razor knife. You undo this screw, slide it out, slide your new one in, and you're in business. You got a nice sharp gut hook again. It's small, it's light, it's maneuverable. I like it. Now, this is what I have for hunting knives, and the sky's the limit. There's an ungodly amount of hunting knives. We could make an all day long video spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on the best hunting knives. But these are what I got, these are what I've used, and these have really worked for me over the years. And I love the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So why would I go around buying all these different knives and just waste money when these are good? When they break, when they fail me, then I will look into replacements. But for now, these are my go-to knives. What are your go-to knives for hunting? put them in the comment section below. Maybe we'll pick some of those up and we'll do reviews on them, and we'll put them back to back and we'll see how good of a knife they really are, and maybe do some torture testing on them. Anyways, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.